Welcome to the Arsenal Show. We are live, and we've got, as you can see, we've got a full house. Some top guests today. Well, they're not even guests anymore. They're regulars. They're our regulars. They are part of the Arsenal Show team. All right, let's go through them. First of all, I've got Steve K to my right. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, how you doing, mate? I'm good today. Good.
I'm good. And we've got Con Marble Halls. How you doing, Con?
What's happening, chaps?
Good to have you on. We've got Jerome Marks in the left-hand corner. How you doing, Jerome?
Evening, yeah, fine, thanks. Hello, everyone.
And we've got our eyes on the ground. It's Simon Lester. How you doing, Simon?
Evening, Kieron. Evening, everyone.
I'm good.
Playing on the left there, going down the left flank.
All right. Let's start off with the Brentford victory the other day. Simon, was you at the game?
Yeah, despite the storms, despite everything that stopped me getting there, I did get there. And I had 4 layers on. I think I needed 5 because it was that cold in the ground. But it was pretty routine. It was only 2-0, but Brentford offered nothing, to be honest. It could have been 4, 5, 6. So it was job done again. I said last week. We just needed to get 3 points, move on to the next game. We've done that. There are very little or few talking points on the day. The 2 young lads scored 2 good goals. Came out of it for a change with 11 men on the pitch at the end. I think there was only 1 booking as well. So we have a full quota to choose from again this Thursday, which I envisage being a little bit tougher. But Brentford offered nothing. Probably, I would say, the weakest team that I've seen live this season. I don't envisage them going anywhere other than further down the table based on what I saw there.
You're on mute, Kieron.
You're putting a loss down to Brentford earlier on in the season to a minor blip.
I would say, playing them on the opening day of the season was probably the worst possible time we could have played them. They're right up for that game. We had a few players missing, but it was 100% the opposite on Saturday. There were a couple of good performances there, certainly from a couple of players in the midfield. And Saka and Smith Rowe, as I say, scored 2 good goals. But we don't really need to spend too much time discussing whether that result and that performance is going to seal our destiny for the rest of the season, because that was as routine a win as you were going to get all season.
All right. Steve, what was your thoughts on performance from what you saw on the weekend?
Yeah, not too much different from what Simon said there, and it's all about results now as we're coming to the this part of the season. I thought, like Simon said, I think in certain areas we played very, very well. Brentford, again, what Simon said, they didn't have nothing to offer. Okay, it was disappointing that they got 1 back and we didn't get. Ramsdale didn't get his clean sheet, but I'm sure he doesn't mind too much about that. But again, there was good performances all over the pitch. Bit disappointing that we didn't score more goals. If we're going to be picky, I mean, and I ain't being picky, but saying I'm being picky. Will it be a worry going forward? I don't know. You get these games. We had a similar game to Norwich a little while ago where we was hitting shots and we couldn't score. But I think we had the record for the most shots ever in a Premiership fixture and not scoring, which you can take that whatever way you want to. But again, like I thought. Everyone well. I thought the defence played very well. No faults with anyone there. Cedric coming in for Tenacious. I thought he had a very good game. I thought the centre backs played well. Simon's already said that the midfield, Xhaka and Partey, I thought they was excellent. Saka, I thought I was just about to think he was having a quiet game, and I thought, well, come, you could do more in this one, and then he turned up 2 minutes later, and he scored that goal, and I was like, lucky I didn't tweet nothing out and that type of thing. But yeah, all good. Performances all over the pitch. If I'm being picky, little bit disappointed with the guys up front, but you get them games, and hopefully in the next one, they'll be in the back of the net more frequently.
Mm-hmm. Con, who impressed you on the weekend?
Odegaard for me. He looked like a walk in the park for him, didn't it? Really starting to show what he's all about. And I always knew he'd be a good player, but he really controls the tempo. When things go through him, we look like we can do something with the ball. I know, like Simon said, it's only they were dreadful, weren't they, Brentford? But I mean, I know it's only Brentford, but it's a sign of things to come. Hopefully, he's still a young player. So I really liked his performance. Obviously, Smith Rowe scored a blinding goal. Saka scored a brilliant goal as well. It's pretty comfortable, isn't it? It was. It's actually so comfortable that there's sort of not a lot to say about it, really. But,
you always want some controversy, some drama.
Yeah, even when they scored, I was just like, I wasn't really even that bothered. But no, it's a good. It's sort of dampened by Tottenham getting a result, but we've got to just do our job, haven't we? As long as we win our games, then that's all we can focus on. Obviously, it's a bit of a disappointment that they ended up nicking it. All credit to them in the end, but yeah, if we just keep picking up points like the way we are, I think we'll go close to it.
No, definitely. Jerome, what was your thoughts on the game on the weekend?
Well, yeah, I was there as well, and that's the easiest game that we've got in our running, isn't it? The rest of the games we've got coming up between now and the end of the season. On paper, that's the easiest one, probably in reality as well, not just on paper. At half time, honestly, I was a bit worried, just because we've had games like that. Most recently, Burnley, where we couldn't break a team down, but defensively, Brentford aren't as sort of solid and strong as Burnley. So I did think that there'd be more chance of us maybe nicking a couple of goals. But yeah, like the lads have said, it was just us having the ball, attack against defence pretty much the whole game. Yeah. And once the first goal came, there was just a massive relief, really. And you felt that it was sort of game over, to be honest, at 1-0, knowing that they could always score a goal, but you just felt super comfortable, even with your arse two sort of played well, and even though he didn't have a lot to do, Gabriel again was just immense. Yeah. Just everything he'd done was top draw. So yeah, we move on, and coming up now in a couple of days, that is when we're going to have a proper test.
Yeah, definitely. The Wolves game, big game coming up Thursday. Steve, give us your thoughts on the Wolves game. We got a victory against them last time. They ridiculed us for over celebrating. Do you think it's going to be similar to what we had to face last time? Tough game against Wolves on Thursday.
Yeah, I think it'd be very tough. I mean, Wolves are a good side. They're on a bit of a run. Apart from the defeat against us, they're playing very well. They've got Pedro Neto now back. I've heard he'll be starting on Thursday, so that's going to be a problem. I'm a big fan of Neto's, so yeah, he's going to be back. He's going to want to prove a point and get himself back into the side if he's a substitute and he comes on, or whether he starts. And we all know Wolves are a good side. They're good all over the pitch. They're dangerous up front. They're strong in the midfield, and they've got a very good defence, and they've got one of the best goalkeepers in the league this season. So yeah, it's going to be very, very, very difficult, and it's going to be totally different from the Brentford game. So, and we're going to have to play a lot better than what we did. I feel than we did against Brentford. We could say it was a little bit. Was it too easy against Brentford? You take them all day long if you're going to take them and going to win, and go through the rest of the season. But Yeah, I think it's going to be very tough, and it's going to be very different. There's we're going to talk about later about team what he's gonna play. Yeah, very very difficult. Jimenez, Neto, Martinelli, they're going to be up for it. Obviously, there's going to be this thing about what they said, like you just said there, with the celebrations. So there's going to be that little bit of bit of naughtiness probably going on. So we're going to have to be a little bit careful. Players like Xhaka, even Partey, Gabriel, they're going to have to be careful. We don't want to go down to 10 men because it's not important now. But performance is not important. Just results. Take a 1-0 in the 93rd minute into injury time all day long. But yeah, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, very very tough. Simon, the game on Thursday, it's a must. It feels like a must win. It's a must not lose, surely.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be the same as what Saturday's game was. The difference, in fact, the last two home games, Brentford, Burnley, basically have come and stuck 10 behind the ball and relied on a sort of break or something like that. Well, I don't see that being the same pattern on Thursday because I think Wolves are going to come and look for 3 points. So that opens up the game a little bit more. So it can work in your favour, but obviously they're a better team than what we've seen in the last two home games. But we beat them less than 2 weeks ago at Wolves in a tight game, which sort of maybe we could have scored another goal in the first half, but we beat them there. So it's certainly going to be a very competitive game. Is it a game we can't lose? So I'm just thinking about this. There's 15 games left. So if someone says to me, what do you need? I would say we need at least 9 wins out of those 15. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've got to factor in that we're probably going to lose 2 or 3 games somewhere along the line. So if you could get 9 wins, if I said 9 wins, 3 draws, that's 30 more points from where we are now, isn't it?
And we are on 42, so that'd be 72 points.
Is that enough? I don't know. Now, if you look at Man United next month, I think they go to City and they go to Liverpool and they play Tottenham at home. Yeah. So we've got 3 games in hand on a lot of these clubs. Obviously, West Ham are sort of hemorrhaging points at the moment. So you envisage that when we've played our 3 games in hand, we're going to be above West Ham, and the ideal scenario would be that we'd be above Man United and Man United cave in March and start dropping big points. That then gives us a big buffer. Obviously, we don't know what Spurs are going to do. That was a disappointment on Saturday, but we can only look after ourselves. But as I say, I view Thursday out of those 9 games, I'm saying, and I'd love to be proved wrong and win 11, but out of those 9 games, I put Thursday as one of those 9 games that we've got to win. So to me, it's got to be 3 points. And then we go to Watford, I think. We get another 2 weeks off or whatever, 10 days off, and then we go to Watford. So if we win on Thursday, knowing that Watford's the next game, I think that puts us in a really, really good spot, and then we can only see what happens to other people between now and then. Obviously, there's games tomorrow night. I think Spurs are at Burnley, are they, tomorrow night? So if they slip up there, which is certainly not going to be an easy game, I view that as just as difficult as their trip to City. It sounds a bit stupid because you're going from the top team to the bottom team, but that is not a nice place to go, especially on a Wednesday night away from home. So we might even be in a better spot than what we are now come Thursday night with regards to games played. But it's got to be a win on Thursday night for me.
Definitely. As you said, it's not an easy game against Burnley. And it seems like them teams around that area have all started to pick up form. Norwich have started, they've faltered a little bit, but they're just rubbish. Burnley, they're starting to pick up a bit. Watford, they got a win on the other day. Newcastle, they've not lost in 5 games. Everton, they're a bit on and off under new management, under Lampard. So there's going to be points dropped from teams you don't.
Correct.
Mike, Kieron, your mic.
Thing. How important would it be us getting the 3 points on Thursday? Did you hear me? Now it's your turn. You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, going on. I think before we played Wolves last, when I was on the show, I said that I reckon out of the 17 games we had left, I predicted 10 wins and 4 draws would have got us top 4. But now thinking about it, it's going to be tight, and I think we got 2 wins out of the last 2 games. I think, like Simon said about Wolves, I think it's a 3 point. It's got to be 3 points. And look, I could say that about every single game. It's got to be 3 points. It's got to be 3 points. But this one especially, because Wolves, they're not out of the picture completely.
No.
They've been playing well. Like, but saying that, when we played them, I felt even when we went down to 10, I still didn't feel like they created much. But then in their last couple of games, they've scored a few goals. I was reading some reports. Apparently, they didn't play too well against Leicester, but still got the win. But I didn't watch the games. So I don't know how true that is. But like Steve said earlier, they got Pedro Neto back. I really like him. He's a really good player.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he's fit enough to start, who knows? But we got to make sure our home form from now to the end of the season. If we can win all our home games, I know we've got Liverpool and United in there. I think we'll go a long way, because I think we've got a couple of away games. I can hope we get points at. But yeah, every game's a must. It's like a cup final every game at the minute, and I just think between now and the end of the season, like what Simon said, I think if we can get another 9 wins, I think it will be hard to catch us, really. 70. What do we say? It was 72 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's got to be top 4, surely. 72 points, especially in a season like this when no one looks like they want to get top 4. So yeah, it's really important we get the win Thursday, and I think we will. To be honest with you, I think we will. I think we've got their number. They're not that threatening. Our back 4 has been quite solid recently. Gabriel and Ben White are starting to form a good partnership, and I think they lack cutting edge. I know I'll probably say this, we'll lose 2-0, but I think we'll beat them. I reckon 2-0.
I know what you mean. It's that final. It's that final last bit. But that Wolves for me are a team that could one day not score in 4 or 5 games and then smash every team 3 or 4-0. Because like if you look at their wingers, they're frightening. They're pacey, tricky, aggressive, and that's how they like to play. But then Jimenez, who's come back from his head injury and he's not quite the same, it's one of those situations. But can he turn it on any day? Jerome, Simon's saying 9 games we need to win. Where do you see those nine games coming from? The 9 wins. Got Wolves, Watford.
I don't know where I see the wins, but I know where I see probably where we don't pick up any points.
Where's that?
I think away to Chelsea, home to Liverpool. I think you write those games off. Not you write those games off, but I just can't see us get anything in those games. To be honest, especially if Liverpool are going for the title as well. Now, what's the result that happened at the weekend with Spurs and City? I think everyone was feeling pretty confident about that game, and what that result's done, it's put the frighteners up everyone, because now it's like if Spurs can beat Man City away, like we couldn't go and do that. We couldn't get that result.
We're not far off it.
At Man City, we can't play like that and get a result.
No.
In a one-off game at a neutral ground, like in the FA Cup, when in those games, but we couldn't do that. Even after they went and scored the penalty, Man City, I still thought Spurs are dangerous on the break. Like they got a chance here.
A bit of a bogey team, isn't they? To City, Man City, Spurs.
Yeah,
you do get that sometimes, don't you?
Yeah. So we got some proper strong competition, and so where are these wins going to come from? It's hard to say. Like this is why people love the Premier League. Like you don't know what the result's going to be. Like no one probably backed Spurs to beat Man City. No one was calling that result. Like you just don't know what's going to happen. Like we could maybe beat Chelsea away and lose to Watford away. Like you just don't know. The good thing is though for us is that we're going into these games or this game now. We've got our strongest team. Everyone is available. There's no injuries, no suspensions, and we've got to make the most of it. So is tomorrow a Thursday a must win? Yeah, to be honest with you, I think it probably is because just of the amount of competition that we've got.
Yeah,
I think you got. I'm sorry, man. I think sorry about in, but I think you've got to take. I don't know if everyone else thinks, but I think you've got to take it game by game because when you're getting to this time of the season, you know you could be playing a Burnley or a Newcastle at the bottom of their way, or I don't know Southampton, and you could be playing a Tottenham and Chelsea or a Wolves or West Ham at the top, and every week you probably thinking the same things. You're thinking, oh yeah, we could beat them, but oh yeah, they could turn us over as well. And you're talking about the same teams. You know, I've always got the same, thought process now. Whoever we play, we've just got to, and I'm sure Arteta's probably saying the same. He's probably just saying, look, we're going to take each game for it as it is. If we're playing Burnley, then they've got their own problems that they're going to give us. Liverpool have got their own problems that they're going to give us, and both games are going to be just as hard as each other. And it's not Arteta coming out and trying to, be the diplomat. And it's not. It's true. That is the way it works, and I think that's the way I'm looking at it, and not necessarily picking that one's going to be harder than that one. I just think they're all going to be just equally as hard.
And what makes it harder as well?
Away from home, and I've been saying this for weeks. We've got to go at places like Palace, Southampton, Villa, and those three games there. So you would think if we can pick up wins at those three fixtures, they're sort of like they're sort of banana skins, aren't they? So we play Villa. We play 3 games in 6 days. I think play Leicester, then Liverpool in midweek, and then we play Villa. So the Villa game is a bit of a banana skin. Palace is always a tough place. Look at Chelsea; they just squeezed past Palace at the weekend. Villa have dropped off a little bit now. There's nothing to say they can't come back. Southampton on a really, really good run. So those sort of games, everybody's sort of we got Chelsea, who knows, we could lose at Southampton and win at Chelsea.
Exactly.
It's that strange this season. So I like what Jerome's saying, that the one game, or Steve, one game at a time, and then that's it. Get that out of the way, forget it, move on, regroup, and go on to the next one. Now, there is a small chance that a few teams, Spurs are still in the Cup, West Ham are in the Cup, and they're in Europe. So there's more games for those teams. Well, more games means more fatigue, possibility of injuries and things like that. I'm clutching at straws here, but we haven't got that. We've only got league games. So we're only playing. We know exactly when we're playing between now and the end of the season. So some of these other teams don't know that. And that there will be some negative aspects of having to play more games for those other teams.
Yeah, one thing you can't do is drop points against the teams around you, though. Surely, the most important thing is not dropping points against the likes of Wolves, Tottenham, Man United, West Ham, and we've got to play them all. And if you drop points against them, then you got to try and get double and hope for other results, and that's not a situation Arsenal want to be in. You just
know that we're going to get down to 4 or 5 games left, don't you? Let's say 5 games left, and we're going to need 10 points or something like that. And one of those games is going to be like Chelsea away, and you're going to have like an Everton at home, and we'll all be sitting here in 6 weeks' time thinking, where are these 10 points coming from, or something like that? Guarantee us getting there. So, and that's what I'm saying. The games in hand that we've got, if we can build up a little bit of a buffer, that will be a really, really good situation to have.
Yeah, definitely. I think Kieron's right. The importance of who you play is bigger. Like you said, the West Ham, the Man United, the Tottenham, they're the ones you must win. But at the end, but as well as because they're obviously around you. But in the context of the league, it's still going to be 3 points. So you still have to take each game as they come. But yeah, Kieran's right. When it comes to that Pacific game against, i.e. West Ham, Wolves as is Thursday, or Manchester United, they're must-wins.
Yeah, going off the last time we played Wolves, where do you think we're going to win the battle to get the 3 points in this game?
Exactly the same as what I said last time. Midfield, mate. If Partey and Xhaka can play well, control that midfield, get Odegaard on the ball quickly. Don't allow them to settle, because they're a team. They're not a team like Tottenham, who, like for instance, on the weekend, don't have the ball for 10 minutes and then can just put something together. They're a team. They like the ball, to build it up, play, get a feel of the ball. And I think if we can stop that, I think if Partey plays well and Xhaka plays well, and we can get Odegaard on the ball, I think we'll create chances and we will finish. So I just think, I don't know what you guys think, but I know Lacazette recently has been doing well for the team, but he just looks like he lacks so much confidence in front of goal. And a game like this where you might get 3 good chances, I don't think we need Lacazette's hold-up play as much at home. Does that make sense? Like, away from home, I get it. We might have to hit him, the channel ball, hit him, hold it up, play off.
Not hit him properly.
I think at home, then we're probably going to have 60% of the ball, 65% of the ball potentially. I think I'd rather because we're going to have that headache of Martinelli, Smith Rowe, where Smith Rowe plays so well. Yeah. Is it worth putting Martinelli up top and putting Smith Rowe on the wing? I don't know.
So this is the headline for the show that you touched on there. So how do you play it? We'll start with you, Jerome. You've got the options of Lacazette, who, I mean, he's putting in a shift, but we want more than a shift. You don't pay 180 grand a week for a shift. You want a little bit more than that, don't you? And it's starting to get, again, it feels like it's starting to get frustrating again, because not only is he not scoring goals, he doesn't seem to be getting into the positions either. What's your thoughts?
Tricky one. This is I think a lot of us maybe would like to see something different, something other than Lacazette up front on Thursday. Whether he's going to do that or not, I don't think he will. I think he'll stick with him. He's made him the skipper, and I just think he'll stick with Lacazette. What would I do if that's the question? I guess the obvious one is Martinelli up front. Keep Smith Rowe on the left, where he's been playing well. Don't touch him, and you stick Martinelli up front. But I just don't think Arteta's going to do it. I'd love to be proved wrong, but
there has been noises around that Martinelli's been training and playing up top. Steve, what would you go for? You got Laka there, who's, I mean, he's not really doing it. You've got Smith Rowe as an option, or you've got Gabriel Martinelli. Where would you go? What would you do?
Yeah, I mean, watching the game on Saturday, I don't know what it was like with Jerome and Simon actually being at the game, but I was so frustrated with Lacazette, and sadly, I don't think it's his fault. I just think he's just had his time and his legs are gone, and he lacks confidence. But do you know what I always felt at one point is, do you know those cars when at the World Cup or the Europa Cup, when they bring out the ball and they get on it? I almost felt as if I want to get Lacazette on that car and sort of move him up the pitch, to help him go further up. Just to sort of move a bit faster, some kind of something. But I mean, he worries me. He's worried me for a long time. And what you were talking about with Jerome there on what to do and who to put here and who to put there, I'm not going to bring up the subject, but this just goes back to the lack of options that we've got at the club. And again, it's another subject for another time, or hopefully not a subject for another time, is how I popularly put it. But yeah, I mean, we haven't got a lot of choices, have we? I mean, we've got Martinelli, who's, look, let's face it, when he's on the left, we love seeing him on the left because he's dangerous. He causes problems. He's scoring goals. And what we're saying is, because we've got nobody and we've got lack of options, and our main man in the middle is not doing it, we're going to move him and put him in the middle, which frustrates the hell out of me. Smith Rowe can play well on the left, but I agree with Jerome. I think what we would do and what he's going to do, what Arteta's going to do, I think are probably two different things, because Lacazette is his captain. Personally, if it was me, I know no one else is going to agree, but I don't know. Again, it goes back. I don't know what Jerome and Simon thought because they was at the game, but for me, when Pepe come on, he looked dangerous to me. I mean, I'd heard all about what he was doing at AFCON, and he looked up for it when he came on the substitute against Brentford. I'd give him a go. I really would. I'd give him a go in that middle. Just playing one game down the middle against Wolves. Let's see what happens. He really played well. I mean, if he was doing a rating show against Wolves, he was going to get a good rating as a sub from me. And I'd give him a go, because we just got lack of options. Some people have said to me, let's play Odegaard up there in the middle. But we don't want to do that. You know, Odegaard's buzzing at the minute, may win our player of the year at playing the position he's in. So we don't want to change it. You know, we because of lack of option, we're talking about having to take players out of their best positions where they're playing well and putting them in a position where we just don't know how it's going to happen, what they're going to do. So that's why I'll probably think that they'll stick with Lacazette. But personally, me, I would, and I know no one else is going to say it, but I would. I'd give him a go. I was impressed with him when he came on against Brentford. I've been impressed with him against AFCON. I know it's different levels, but I think it's like if you're a goal scorer. I mean, I was a winger. If you're playing well at a lower level, and then you just go on and play thinking you can do and beat everybody. So let's see what he can do.
Simon, what do you think for Pepe when you come on, and what would be your option to go up top?
Well, Johnny's put in the comments there, he said, does the panel think Lacazette is sacrificing his own game for the tactics of the team? So partly, yes, I would say. He had a poor game on Saturday, and his obvious flaw is, as I've said before, he just hasn't got any pace, and defenders know that. Defenders know that if a ball comes over the top, he's not going to out-sprint them. So he's not scored for quite a while. If it was me, so Smith Rowe came in, scores a goal, and has a good game. He's our top goal scorer. So I don't
Six
see
goals, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't see how you can keep dropping him after he constantly scores in games. So if it was me, I'd start with Martinelli at centre forward, because I think Martinelli offers something different. He offers a lot more energy than Lacazette. He may not drop off as deeply, and he certainly offers the pace option that Lacazette doesn't. Now, don't forget, this is a home game where we're looking to win, and we're looking to go on the front foot early. So if you remember when 2 seasons ago when Martinelli broke into the team before he got injured, he was playing at centre forward, and he was quite effective there. So I've got no issues with him starting up front. But how long can you? It's difficult, because if you win a game, then you say, well, we got 3 points. What's your problem? But how long can you carry on playing someone at centre forward who doesn't score a goal? It's a sort of double-barreled question. So I agree with what Steve said. I think Pepe, if there's an injury, Pepe is going to start, isn't he? Let's God forbid that Saka gets injured or is rested, then Pepe will start there. As far as him as a centre forward, well, we've not seen him as a centre forward in the Premier League, so maybe in the last 15 games, that's not maybe something to experiment on. But for me, if I was picking the team, I'd pick the same team as Saturday, but I start Martinelli instead of Lacazette up front.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Con, can Odegaard and Martinelli work? Can Odegaard supply Martinelli with all he needs, and then Martinelli take it on from there and actually finish some chances?
Yeah,
Better option than Lecker.
I think at home, that's definitely the way to go, because, like Simon said, he hasn't got any pace, has he, Lacazette? So automatically, the defence can push up a couple of yards. So that then closes the gap between the midfield and the defenders. But if Martinelli's playing, he can take the ball to feet and he can go long. So he can then, them defenders are now got to drop another couple of yards. They'll think, he's got a bit of pace. We better take a couple of yards off here, which will then give a bit more space for the midfield to play. When they do get the ball, they might be able to look out wide or play that little ball through to Martinelli if he's up top. But I think at home, especially when you're playing teams who are looking to sit there and maybe nick one on the counter, we need to have a bit of threat through the middle, because they'll just think, right, we'll let them go through the middle. We won't let them have it out wide, and then Lacazette's not going to do nothing. Whereas if we've got Martinelli, they'll think, hold on, he can pick it up, he can beat a man, because he loves running at defenders. He's going to commit players, win fouls here, there, around the edge of the box. And I just think at home, especially away from home, but no problem Lacazette playing, because I know you're going to have 10, 15-minute periods where the other team's on top and you need an out ball, someone who can fight for the ball, which he's brilliant at. And I do think he is giving up. Well, I think his game's changed over the years, but where before he used to be a good out-and-out number 9, but now as he's got older, he's losing pace. He's just a bit of a sort of battering ram that you can just have up there, sort of fighting for lost causes and just winning little fouls here and there. But at home, when you've got to know if you do get that chance, especially if a team's sitting back and you do get that chance, that half chance, or it falls to someone, you want someone who's got the conviction and the confidence to just put their foot through the ball and hit the target, which someone like Martinelli would do. Even Pepe would probably do. I'm not too sure about starting him up top because I haven't seen him play up top for Arsenal. Whereas Martinelli, he's got all the attributes. He presses hard. He does everything that Lacazette would do. He'd be a defender's nightmare at home. When they're trying to just sit back and keep the ball at the back and try and play out, he won't give them no time or space. Mm-hmm. So I'd love for him to start, like Jerome said, he isn't going to. So it's going to be Lacazette up top. But I just think we've got to start thinking outside the box and stop. If it's not working, say for instance 50 minutes gone by, we've missed 2 chances, Lacazette's missed both. He's got to just make the change rather than wait until 70 minutes, because we can't afford teams like Wolves. They've got a very good defence, and we can't afford to miss chances against them. And I think if we get a goal in the first half, we could run away, win 2-3-0. But I think the later it goes on, I think the harder it gets.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't you think he's missed enough in the last few weeks?
Yeah, that's what I was going to get onto. That's what I was going to get onto.
The people should now say, no, we've given you 4 or 5 games, mate. You've been awful.
He does do well for the team now.
Work rate, great. Yeah, work rate's great. Fantastic. But we've not got no goal scorers, have we?
Yeah, that's what I was getting onto. Jerome, we saw Lacazette. Johnny says asks if he's sacrificing his game. Con and Simon both agree a little bit, but you can't really account for the miss that he had the other week, where and the misses against Brentford. Where was it against Wolves, where he opened up and he puts it wide. Could have finished off the game early off and didn't. He's getting into those. When he does get into those positions, he can't finish. And the rest of the time, it doesn't even feel like he wants to be in there.
Yeah, you know what? He's got to put away those chances. He has to. But is he sacrificing himself for the team? I don't think he is. I just think this is who he is now.
Yeah,
I think that his game has changed based on what has happened to him physically. He just can't get around the pitch. Not that he was ever the most sort of sprightly of players, because he wasn't, but he wasn't as immobile as he is now. And I think it costs the team in terms of when we counter attack. I think he got quite lucky on our second goal because I don't know what he was trying to do there, but thankfully the referee sort of didn't make a decision. But I would just love to see our forward line with someone that is a bit more mobile, that's more of a threat, that I think, like Con said, that closes down. Well, if you're centre back of Wolves and you're trying to keep the ball, who do you want pressing you? Do you want Lacazette coming towards you, or would you prefer Martinelli? I just think there's so many aspects of our game that could be a lot better if we had someone a bit more mobile, a bit more threatening up front. Some of his passing on Saturday, we had a couple of chances, and normally his passing isn't too bad, but just he either made the wrong decision or it was just a lazy pass. I think Steve said it the right word. It was very frustrating to watch. And yeah, he's not playing so well, or he's not playing up to such a high standard that he's like undroppable. Do you know what I mean? He's not like really linking the play really well, and we couldn't play without him. Like, I think I'd love to see someone else given a go there, but will he do it? As we said, we're not convinced.
Yeah, no. Saturday was one of them games where he was not good. I was watching him and I was thinking, when I was doing my ratings in my head, I was like, oh, now you're at a 5, and then another bad pass, and I was like, oh, this is tragic. It was not good at all. And I think even for himself, he needs to be taken out of the limelight a bit. Previously, where Lacazette's had a bit of a bad form, or we've not been too happy with his finishing, he's been taken out. He's sat on the bench. He's come back in and he's scored some goals. So I think he needs to give him that bit of a rest, Arteta, and I think Martinelli for me is the best option, as Simon said and Jerome has both said, with the way that Smith Rowe's been constantly scoring every time he comes on. I think he's got to give him that opportunity. Otherwise, he's going to get frustrated, and it's only fair now that Martinelli did get he lost his position because he got sent off. Smith Rowe's come in and scored and played well. It's only fair that he keeps the shirt, and that's how I think you can keep players on their toes. The Sun are reporting, or Mark Irwin is reporting, that Mikel Arteta is set to be offered a 3-year deal. Steve, Arsenal right in offering Arteta a 3-year contract?
Yeah, I think so. It's probably the most. He's going to be one of the most sought after managers in the world in the next couple of years. So, yeah, I think I said last week that there's aspects of Arteta's game that I still feel needs improving. But at the end of the day, what he's done with Arsenal since he's came in, I would never have expected him to. So, just on those lines, I think a 3-year. I think he should be given probably even more than a 3 years, probably a 5-year. In my eyes, you will get possibly Man City, possibly Real Madrid, possibly Barcelona in time after this guy. In 3 years, what some managers have taken 10 years since the great Arsene Wenger's left and failed. He's come in and done instantly, and we see on Twitter, we hear people speak, and and they say Arteta's not a good manager, and they've not, he's not this and he's not that. But Mikel Arteta for me is up there with the best managers in the Premier League, and he'll be looked upon just like Pep will, and just like Klopp will. And yeah, I mean, I'm quite surprised it's just a 3-year one. To be honest, he's done so much since he's come at the club. I mean, he's came in, he's won the trophy in his first year. The second year, everyone was going on about, we finished 8th, but personally, I was happy with that because I wanted to see progress, and I was seeing progress. He brought in a load of players that people were moaning about, and look at them now. He's literally, we've got sort of half the England squad and one of the best defences in the league, And he just needs to sort that attack out, which I'm sure he will do in the summer. But yeah, I mean, it's been a long time coming. We've had Emery, who's not a bad manager. He wasn't a bad manager, just didn't have the players and he wasn't backed. And but Arteta's came in. He's liked by everybody. I think the fact that he's a young manager and we've got a very young team, I think that helps massively when you've got players like Smith Rowe and Saka and players like that, Ramsdale, White, Gabriel. They're all very young. I think they get on well with him. They love him. And these are all little things that are important going forward. So, yeah, 3 years. I'm surprised it's 3 years. I wish it was more. And, long live the new king.
All right. Simon, a bit of a, well, not a shaky start because he won the FA Cup, but got a bit shaky last season. Finished the season well. This season, some people were dubious, but he seems to have got his team clicking. He's bringing in that culture. Is it right for Arsenal to give him a 3-year deal?
Yeah, I think so. I'd support that. He's young. He's made maybe a few mistakes, but what he is as well, he's in the middle of a rebuild, and whoever was going to come into that role was going to need to have this rebuild. So, what's the point in starting something and not finishing it? Let's say he's 60% through his rebuild. Well, clearly we know that he needs more recruits in positions. We've just stated that on the previous topic. So if he gets another 4 or 5 players in to make a squad whereby if we've got a couple out injured, we can put another couple in, which basically doesn't really sort of minimise the impact we can have in games, I don't think we'd be too far away. Are we at a Man City and Liverpool level? No. Would we be when we get a couple, 3, 4, 5 more players in? We don't know that, do we? Until we've got them in. But as far as I'm concerned, he's definitely applied a bit more discipline to the squad, which is what I want. If you listen to 99% of the comments that come out from the inside, then most of the players seem pretty happy with him, and the ones that weren't happy have been moved on. But you could argue that they were troublemakers anyway, so that's for the better of the club and the team. Mm-hmm. There's a few regulars that we see on Twitter with their little agendas and stuff like that, and the so-called experts who have the answers to everything. Certain other phone-in shows, or shall we say, and there's no logic to what people. Their main logic seems to be, oh, he's inexperienced, so we just need to get rid of him and get someone else in. And all these names crop up, and these, so. Like Mourinho, well, he was pretty experienced. Was he done nothing at Spurs? Mm-hmm. Yeah, done nothing at Man United. You could argue. So it doesn't cut the mustard. So as far as I'm concerned, he's the current manager, so I back him. If they offer him another 3-year deal, I'm going to back him as well. And mm-hmm. he needs the backing of the people behind him in the club to go out and strengthen the team more. And once we're into that position, then we'll finally be able to see what his team will be able to do, because he's still got relics of previous regimes there that he probably doesn't want.
Yeah, definitely. Jerome, do you think Arsenal are making the right move in offering Mikel Arteta a 3-year deal?
Well, I'd like them to wait till the end of the season, but because I don't know what the rush is, but I think
we said that about Rob Holding. Look where we are now. Baller.
He's done very well. There's no denying he's done very well. Has he done well enough to warrant a new 3-year contract? I'm not sure. If you were just to look at the sort of facts, like the stone cold facts, but like Simon said, I like what he's done with like the attitude of the players he's brought in, and what I think this says is that if they are going to offer him a new deal, I reckon they're going to massively back him in the summer transfer market.
Going to throw the sink at him.
Yeah, I think I think maybe that's what he was out in America chatting to Kroenke about, perhaps, about the plans for the future going forward. And it's maybe slightly premature, but when he's had his full strength team, we like what he's done with it. But what happens if we finish, which we very well could do? What happens if we finish 8th and we've offered him a 3-year contract? It's not going to look great, but
I mean, you've got to swallow it.
I think what you're doing is you're placing a bet that he is going to be this great coach that we think he's going to be. I think that's what you're doing. You're placing a bet on him, and looking around sort of other managers at the moment, I don't think you'd place that bet probably on anyone else, to be honest. So, roll the dice, and hopefully he'll come up trumps. It's just a little bit premature, perhaps, but
they
obviously believe in him. They obviously believe in him,
and I think that's what it is. Look, if they've got belief in the guy, and they're showing it by offering the new deal. Con, when Arteta came in, he said he wanted to set a new culture with the players, and then that will go through the club. He said, and he'll set a new culture with the club, and then that will follow through with the fans eventually. Do you think he's doing that, and do you think he's worthy of a 3-year deal?
Yeah, when he come in, look, he's not a miracle worker, is he? It's his first job. He's come in. That team was on a road to nowhere. It had a lot of players who shouldn't have been signed in the first place that are from before him. A lot of the players who were there sort of had big egos. He tried to work with them, didn't work. And I always thought you got to give him a few transfer windows where he's allowed to get the players in who he wants to get in. And I think there was a couple of things at Arsenal. When he first came in, it was like, right, we need to get back into the Champions League as soon as possible. Brought in a couple of experienced players who, like people like David Luiz, I don't think he was necessarily an awful signing.
It wasn't.
Don't get me wrong, he made mistakes, but he was a good character in the dressing room. A lot of the youngsters liked him, and he did put in some good performances. It didn't work, and he said, look, we need to basically, we're not in the Champions League, so we can't go and sign world class players who are ready right now, unless you're paying stupid money, which in a sense, I don't want players who are coming to us just because they're getting stupid money. So they've had to go young. And what we're starting to see, because I wasn't his biggest fan, to be honest with you. I thought, does he know what he's doing? 1 minute we're playing one way, next minute we're playing another. But what I'm starting to see is a team that I can like. And as an Arsenal fan, obviously I want us to win everything. Of course I do. But the most of all, I want a team that I can think, right, every week they're going out there and they're playing for the badge. They might not be the best players, but they're playing for the badge. And that's all I've wanted. And he's brought together a team who I can get behind and like. And if they do make mistakes, I think, you know what? I know he's going to work twice as hard to make it up to his teammates and the fans. And I think that we're not far away from being a really good side who should be getting top 4 consistently and then start breaking, because that's what the boundaries are. We need to get top 4 this season, next season top 4, and then we can start building again, getting better players in who want to come to Arsenal, not just want to come to Arsenal because they know they're going to get a payday. And I think personally, if we can keep everyone together, I think we're only a midfielder and a top striker away from really cementing our play and really being a team that people will think, hold on, we got Arsenal this week, rather than being a team of old, well, we got Arsenal this week, it's 3 points. And I think that Arteta's instilling a good mentality. He's not no mug, which I like. He's not afraid to put the big personalities in their place. And I think 3-year deal, yeah, like Jerome said, I don't see why it's got to be done now. I'm not against it being done, but I don't get why it couldn't be it could be dealt with and then announced in the summer. It's just another question that's going to be thrown. Another thing
after
for the media. It's just another thing for the media to go, oh, they've backed Arteta. Is it putting more pressure when it doesn't need to be? But I do think, like Simon said, there's a lot of these managers that get touted around who else can we get who's going to be a guaranteed success? I don't think there is anyone.
No one. Yeah.
There's no one. So people say about people like Graham Potter, look, brilliant manager. I think he's doing really well with what he's got. But he's at a club where there's not a lot of expectation, is there? And he's over it. Imagine we go and got pumped 3-0 by Burnley. It would be absolute carnage going on.
Yeah.
But because it's Graham Potter, it's Brighton, blah, blah. But I think at the minute, he's showing signs of being a good manager. There's no doubting that he's a brilliant coach because he was coaching all these brilliant players at Man City. You say how important he was to them. And I think it's a good move to tie him down because, like you said, we've got to see out this process if it is a process. And I think he needs backing. And I'm sure when he did go over to America, because he's probably got opportunities. If Arsenal, there's clubs out there who would take him, believe me. So I think if Arsenal have probably had to sell it to him as well to say, look, I know we're not doing well at the minute, but we're going to back you and we're going to let you get in 2 or 3 big players in the summer. So he's gone, all right, then I'll sign it. So I don't think it's so much Arsenal or just like throwing all their, let's just gamble on him. I think he's gambling staying with us as well because we're at that point now where we're at that sort of, we're coming up the mountain and we need to keep going to get to the top because we're a couple of players away from being a good side. But if we don't make them signings, we're slowly going to start to lose these young players we've got. So I think it's a good move as long as he gets backed in the summer.
Yeah. If you're going to bring another manager in, what do? You're just going to go back to the beginning again.
That's it.
And I find that that's ridiculous. I mean, if you lay the facts quickly, if you lay them on the table, which have just gone through them. First season, he's won the trophies, come into a club, and that was an absolute shit show. It was an absolute mess. Contracts were up the window. You had to sift players out before he even looked at what he was going to do with on the pitch. I think the first season he was given just loan deals where he couldn't buy anybody, and then he's still gone and won the FA Cup. He's rebuilt the defence, which again was another absolute disaster. And then you've got the young kids, and you've got Martinelli, you've got Smith Rowe, you've got Xhaka, you've seen Odegaard. They're just improving game by game by game. We're talking every week about them, how they're going to be the next world-class players and Ballon d'Or winners, and God knows what, what else. And I think it's a no-brainer. I'm surprised they ain't giving him a 5-year one because, to me, you've got to tie a guy like that down because I guarantee you, the Barcelonas and Real Madrid will come out for him. They will come looking for him. I guarantee you that.
It might not even be a case of Arsenal didn't offer him or wasn't even speaking about a 5-year contract. As Con alludes to, Arsenal may have had to say it to him as well, and he might have said, "I'll take 3." He took 3 the first time. He might have said he'd take 3 this time.
Whatever you can get, take it.
Did you see the statistic that, I mean, this is obviously not just him, but this is the club, that they've reduced the wage bill by 50% in the last 2 years. So what that's saying to me is that they've had this clear plan to say, we need to now get ourselves in a position so that come the summer, we can go out and we can get the players that we want. Now, if it's going to cost us X, Y, and Z, we don't mind paying that. But before we get to that position, we need to be in a much, much better financial position than where we are now. Now, it looks to me that has happened. So I'm expecting good things in the summer.
No, definitely. And one of many things. One, does he get the credit for trying to actually get something out of those players that he got rid of in the end? People will be very quick to turn around and say that, when it doesn't work for him, he just gets rid. But he tried to give Guendouzi a chance. He tried Ozil. He tried Aubameyang. He's tried all these things, and it just didn't work. So the best thing to do for the good of the club is to move them on, because you can't have these players sitting there not playing and then causing a ruckus behind the scenes. That you can't have that. You can't have that. People, these are professional footballers, and they want to play football. So if you're going to stop them, it will only happen eventually. Noises will start coming out. And once you start getting noises out of the dressing room, things start to fall apart. He's also built a team and people will say people say, "Oh, but how would this team be with a more experienced manager, a better manager?" A more experienced manager wouldn't have bought these players. There's no way he would have bought these players. And with these players, we've got Liverpool looking at Saka, we've got Liverpool looking at Martinelli, Tomiyasu coming in. No one even knows who he is, and he's one of the best right backs in the league this season when he is playing. We've got Martin Odegaard and Real Madrid are already regretting selling him. We've got Aaron Ramsdale, one of the best goalkeepers in the league this season. Ben White and Gabriel forming a formidable partnership and clubs are going to be after them in a couple of years. Rumours that Real Madrid are looking at Kieron. This is all done because this manager has put this team together and he's got them consistently playing well and he's got them with the right mentality going into every single game. They're fearless in games.
Yeah.
They're fearless. The fear that they had when they went to Old Trafford, when they went to Everton, they're probably thinking that we had nothing to fear. And since then, they've kicked on since then. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what this team can do.
Just like saying on what Simon was talking about, the players you just mentioned there, Kieron, and what Simon was talking about, just look at the wages those players were earning, the players you just mentioned. Just there, William, Ozil, Aubameyang. You know, you can't have players pissing around at a football club and earning that type of money. Now, you know how I feel about this, the forward situation. That's another subject. But at the end of the day, if they're not doing it, right, he's got the bottle and he's got the guts to say, I don't care who you are. I don't care how big you are. Right? This is Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing it, I don't care what wages you're on, right? You know, you leave. And he's done that. And that's without what he's done on the pitch. This is all, you know, around the club. So for me, it's great, and I just hope he stays for a long, long time.
Yeah, same here. Before we go, give us your score predictions for the game on Thursday against Wolves. Steve, first of all, give us a little roundup on the score prediction for the game on Thursday. Yeah,
again, I think it'll be a very similar game. I think it will be very tough. I think it'll be a little bit tasty as well. Let's hope, like I said at the beginning of the show, that we keep 10 men on the pitch. Don't know what team is going to play. 11 men on the pitch, rather.
We're so used to it.
But yeah, I don't know what team he's going to play. I don't know where he's going to play. I think you know, boys are right. I think he'll play Lacazette. I think he will. And if anything, I played. Maybe play Smith Rowe. I would rather play Smith Rowe than Martinelli and keep Martinelli where he is and stick Smith Rowe in the false nine. I thought he played quite well when he played there. But yeah, score prediction. And I'm going to go a win. I think we've got the bit between our teeth at the minute. I think it's going to be another tough one. I'm going to go for a 1-0, and Gabriel's going to come up from a corner and score for 1-0.
Getting details. Con, give us your score prediction, a little roundup of where you think the game will go.
I think it could go one or two ways. Either we let them settle and it could be a very tight game, or I think we can go at them from the first minute and we could potentially get a couple in the first half and then just chill for the second half, keep it easy. So I think we'll win. I'm taking the misses, so hopefully.
Good man.
What you done? What you done, Con? What you done? What have you done?
You texted me to a football game.
I know. I was going to take my old man, but I thought, you know what?
What you done?
Who said romance is dead? Who said romance is dead?
He takes the dairy off me when I want to have a couple of beers. But I'm hoping for a 2-0. And I'll go Saka to score first.
All right. 2-0 win and Saka to score first. Simon, give us your thoughts, how you think the game will go and the score prediction.
So I've seen the last 3 Wolves games now, 1 live and 2 on the box, 90 minutes of all. So I think it's going to be quite a physical game, and I think it's going to be tough. I think we'll have more possession. So I'm going 2-1. I think they'll score, I'll be honest with you. But I'm going to go I can't say anything other than an Arsenal win because it's a must-win game when we're at home. So I'm going to go 2-1. but a very tight game and quite a physical one, I think, at times.
All right. Well, it's a win. I'll take that. Whoa. Do you remember the pre-match to the Brentford game when you said the score prediction, you're going to say 2-1, and I said, well, tell you what, I'll take a 2-0 win and then them score in the 93rd minute. I'm going to pull that up.
Who said that?
Yeah, I'm going to pull that up.
No, I don't remember that, boys. You?
I'm going to pull that up. No, don't worry.
I don't remember that.
I'm going to clip it, edit it, and it's going out. Don't worry.
He's good at that. He's good at the clipping in the editing. He'll be doing that into a mic and then playing it out and sticking it on the screen.
Can't do the lip syncing. Jerome, how do you think the game will go? And give us your score predictions.
Hard to predict, but if there was ever a result and a scorer to be written in the stars for Wolves at home, it's got to be 1-0 Martinelli, isn't it? After that red card that he got at their place a couple of weeks ago. So I'll go for that 1-0 Martinelli. That's my prediction.
All right. Johnny has gone for a 2-1 victory. All right, I'll take that, Johnny. I'll take that.
What do you reckon, Kieron?
My mind's saying 1-0. It's going to be tight. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think Lacazette's going to start. I want to say he's going to score, but I just don't see it. There's nothing that I'm seeing of Lacazette recently, especially, which is making me feel like he's going to score. I've been saying it for a while where I just don't feel like he wants. I feel like he's afraid to miss, and when you've got a player that's afraid to miss, that's you're in trouble. So I'm hoping that if he does play and he doesn't score, this is the final straw and to sort of rest him, because we're still going to need him towards the end of the season. Like he does bring a positive side to our game that we've needed, and he has helped with those forward players. Our wingers scoring goals, so we can't take that away from him. But I need to see a striker scoring some goals now. I need to actually feel like there's a threat up top. I'm going for a 1-0 victory.
That was a lovely goal Neves scored, wasn't it, in the week? I think we're going to have to keep our eye on him. He's getting better and better, I think, this season. What a goal that was.
Danger. He's a danger. All right, that is all we have time for. Thank you for everyone who's joined us in the comment section. If you are watching on any of the other channels, press that like and subscribe button. If you're watching on Facebook, change the settings. If you're on Twitter, make sure you come over to us next time and join us in a live chat. Thank you for joining us tonight, Steve.
Cheers, mate. Pleasure, as always.
All right. Thank you for joining us tonight, Con.
Cheers, boys. Thanks for having me again.
Thank you for joining us tonight, Simon.
Yeah, as always, thanks very much. Enjoyed it, Kieron.
No, and thank you for joining us tonight, Jerome.
Yeah, of course. Cheers. Thanks, boys.
All right. So who's at the game? Who's at the game on Thursday?
Yeah.
No jinxing us, Con.
All
right. Peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.